Shalom Aleichem. We have from the Sefer Rav Zvi Kushalevsky on the Torah, on Vayeira, the Parsha of Vayeira, the quintessential teffila. Avraham Odenu Omeid Lifnei Hashem. Vayigash Avraham Vayomar Ha'af Tispet Tzadikim Rosho. Avraham was still standing before Hashem, and Avraham drew near and said, "Will a tzaddik be destroyed together with a rasha?" Bereshis 18, 22, 23. The parak 18, the Pesukim 22 to 23. Rav Tzadok teaches that the first time a concept appears in the Torah, it defines its scope. Our first encounter with a notion tells us a lot about it. That's over here, Yisrael Kedoshim, Pri Tzadikim Rosh Chodesh Tammuz 1. Our first encounter with a notion tells us a lot about it. Though we find several veiled references to teffila before Parshas Vayeira, the first overt instance of teffila, of prayer, tefillah is prayer, is this request of Avraham for Sodom to be saved. In what way does this define tefillah? How does this define tefillah? Also, isn't this a very odd introduction to tefillah in view of the fact that Avraham's request is ultimately not granted and Sodom is destroyed? So that's a good question. The Rambam writes, Moreh Nevuchim 3:51, that tefillah trains us to exercise our minds, to realize that there is nothing besides Hashem. It accustoms us to focus on Hashem and block out our other issues. In short, tefillah is about devekus. Devekus means attaching ourselves, cleaving to Hashem. In this vein, the Maharal explains that the expressions of constant requests in our tefillos are about training our minds to realize that Hashem is the one who supplies all of our needs. That's Nesiv Ha'avoda. That's the number 6. There are a lot of notes in this Sefer. Baruch Hashem. Furthermore, this concept explains the accolades given to one who has a fixed place for his tefillah, a fixed place where he davens all the time, a set place where in the shul where he davens all the time. About whom the Gemara says, one who sets a regular place for his tefillah is counted among the students of Avraham Avinu. That's in Brachos 6b. As the Maharal explains, the designation of a fixed place is an external expression of an inner devekus to Hashem. If you have a fixed place where you're davening, it's an external expression. It's an outside expression of how you are attached to Hashem. You're trying to attach yourself to Hashem. We return to the place of being focused completely on Hashem and our spiritual task. Or we turn to the place of being focused completely on Hashem and our spiritual task. In other words, when we go to that place that we always stand or sit when we daven, we're returning to the place where we focus on Hashem and our spiritual task. This is why Avram's tefillah, his prayer to save Sodom, is the paradigm tefillah. It's what we think of in tefillah. It teaches us about tefillah. For a person might think that the purpose of tefillah is to have one's requests answered, to verbally articulate one's shopping list of requests in the hope that they will be fulfilled. The fact that the first example of tefillah involves a request that was not granted accentuates the fact that the main part of tefillah is the Dveikus itself. Tefillah is not about having requests answered.